Hello and welcome to Peeves and Q's.
Peeves and Q's, Peeves and Q's.
Thank you so much for not leaving me hanging on that. Peeves and Q's, special one. Well, we're back for another Spotlight episode. This is episode 6, Spotlight number 6, where we're going to start talking about, maybe you can guess based on the title of this podcast, Game of Thrones. It just wrapped up if you're listening to this live 2 days ago. How exciting is that? Spoilers.
Ahead.
I'm Mr. Red, also known as Alex. We also have Jody.
Yep.
And Connor here.
Hey, guys.
So, we're going to talk about Game of Thrones. You guys excited and ready to talk about Game of Thrones?
Excited is a word that I guess I wouldn't use.
So we can talk about the finale that happened just a couple days ago, but I want to keep this. We're going to also talk about the show in general, kind of like talking about it, but
we're talking about it.
We're talking about the finale as well, because that just happened. So what do you guys think about Game of Thrones in general? You like it?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Love it. Nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
Nothing else will be like it.
Yeah, nothing will really come close to it. People will try.
Yeah.
And even the, in-universe stuff will try. It won't.
They're doing spin-offs and prequel stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's meant so much to me for so long, and it's hard to believe that it's
You didn't want to watch it in the beginning.
That's right. I've had a very complicated history.
I also didn't want to watch it in the beginning.
No, you didn't. I kind of coerced you into watching it.
No, one day I literally was just like, I think I'm ready.
Yeah. You got to be in the mood for it. You can't just force it. That's what I tried to do. I tried to be like, literally, I rented the first season from like Family Video, and I was just like, I'm gonna remember the stores that
remember Family Video.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot. I think I watched the first episode 3 times over like 6 months, and I was just like, I don't get it. I don't understand why people.
That's
like
why
this.
I never watched the first episode of anything.
Yeah. Eventually, I started reading about what was going on, like on wikis and stuff, and I was like, oh, characters and movement and stuff, awesome, and I loved it.
Well, then you read the books.
Then I read the books, and then I read the books again, and then a third time, and more since then.
I want to read them.
Oh, they're good.
I want to read them
real
bad. Real bad.
Next level good.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
What about you?
So you had a...
I literally just one day was like, it was the day before you moved into the apartment with Connor. I was just like, I'm ready to start this.
Yeah.
I think we ended up watching like 3 episodes, and I was like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Especially because I had a guide guiding me through it.
Being like, that character, we saw him last episode. Yeah. They haven't said his name yet.
Because normally I do have an issue because I don't know why casting directors do this. They cast people who just look so similar.
They do.
And you're just like, okay, is that guy? They just...
These two characters don't look similar to each other, but they occupy very similar roles in the show, and that's Stannis and Tywin Lannister. They're both like like older, serious military gentlemen, and it's just very easy for my brain to be like, that's probably the same dude. So whenever they would show up, I'm like, I thought he was over there with... That's a different person! What? Okay, so it took me... That's why I really had to start reading things to really get it, because I'm like, okay.
What?
Huh? What? Yeah, and then the finale... Oh, what about you? You want to talk?
Great, yeah. I just a friend came over one day and was like, you have to watch this. You're into fantasy. You have to watch this. And we watched the entirety of the first season in a night.
Yeah. And you could do it.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
I was like, we got to stop. We can't stop. Like, we can't. We gotta keep going. We got to watch this whole thing.
It's gotta happen.
And then I read the books, and then...
It really just transforms everything.
Yeah.
Reading those books is like... Okay, so not only was everything that we saw in the show, which is already packed full of stuff, there's also like 20 different characters that they never mention in like the first book alone that are so important. I mean, obviously not, but are.
And I haven't reread them. Mm-hmm. I've read each book once, and I loved it, but like my because it's so dense, and I love it. Like, I love while I'm reading them, I'm really enjoying like how
it's true,
like how dense this is and how rich this is. But like once I was sort of done with the books that were out at the time, I was like, oh, like, what happened?
Right. Like, what?
Wait.
What did I just read?
I kind of feel the same way. It feels a lot like when you're a kid and somebody puts like a really healthy meal in front of you, or like a really substantial one, but it's not candy, and you're like, I don't want this. This is like too like thinky. But like as soon as I finish reading a chapter, I'm just like, was that the greatest thing I've ever read? It might have been, even though
it's not empty calories, as they say.
Definitely, yeah. So
is it too soon to ask like who your favorite character is?
No, let's get into some of our discussion.
Because I think
questions.
that for the audience, it will kind of set the tone of where each one of us is coming from based on your favorite character. Yeah, I honestly believe that. Okay. I'm not going first.
Well, I have 10. So do you want me to go
that's
from
my problem.
lowest to
Okay.
It's so hard though.
Top three.
Top three. Yeah. All right. So can I go first? Because I have a lot. I have
top
a lot
three?
of thoughts.
Okay.
Top three. I'll say my top three are Arya, Tyrion, and Kinvara, the High Priestess.
No,
I'm just
serious?
kidding. Yeah. Who's my third? I gotta think about this one. Oh, Oberyn Martell.
I can't believe he wasn't number one.
I can't believe that either. Would you like to go? It's a hard question.
Arya, Tyrion, and Jon.
Yeah. Jon, really?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
I mean,
Jon's a great character.
Okay. Is he though?
Yeah. I believe he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's got one of the best storylines, which I think is very different. Case in point, not to tangent or whatever, but Daenerys Targaryen, I love that character, but she spends a long time doing nothing.
Yeah.
So
and of course, we're sitting here top three, but really what we're really it's can we just say the whole show?
Yeah,
can we just say all of them or just
You could. I don't like the mountain.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I'm talking about characters, not plot devices.
That's
I would argue he's more of a plot device.
Anyway, my top three
go ahead.
are from top to third is Jaime.
Oh yeah. Oh. This is too hard to do top three. Can I do top five? Yes.
And then I'm gonna say Sansa.
All right.
She's my third. Right. Bonus.
Yes.
Ghost.
Oh, Ghost the dog.
Ghost is definitely my favorite direwolf.
Oh, yeah.
No, Lady. This is hard.
It is hard.
I like Lady.
Well, your grandmother used to.
My grandmother had a dog named Lady.
A long time ago, so that really resonated with you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That and it's a girl dog.
And I had to stab my first dog when I was so up. I really resonated with that too. But yeah, it's really hard to choose your favorite character because so many of them speak to so many different different types of personality and everything. So it's really hard to narrow down. There are other characters that I think are really underrated, so I want to say them just because most people don't. For example, Beric Dondarrion. Not a lot of people
he's a great character.
Yeah, he's really interesting. He died several times, came back to life, and he's like, I have all this wisdom. And he had the best voice. You know what? No, there have been some great voices in this show. Can we take a moment and give it up for...
Who's your best voice?
Oh, that's a tough question, man.
Sean Bean?
Nah, he's got a normal voice. I would say it's a toss-up between him, Tywin Lannister.
Yeah. Famously.
He has a commanding voice.
Charles Dance.
He's amazing.
By the way, another brief tangent. Godzilla, King of the Monsters in theaters.
Is he in that?
He is, yeah. I don't know how big.
I was gonna say, what is it? Is he like?
I don't know how big his role is.
Bryan Cranston.
He says the tagline of the.
Yeah, he literally says "Long live the king," which is funny because Game of Thrones, which is probably why they either cast him or highlighted it in the trailer. Also, King of the Monsters. It's very narratively resonant. Point is, a lot of great voices in the show, and so. Mm-hmm.
Who's your least favorite character? I don't know if you could do that.
The Mountain, because he's barely a character. Who's my least?
I can't think of what they're called.
Euron Greyjoy.
Oh yes, I hate Euron.
Bad character in terms of bad person and bad character. There's some characters you love to hate, and Euron Greyjoy.
Styling, even down to the styling, I hate Euron Greyjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mustache.
Hate him.
You have mutton. You look like you belong in a Wild West.
Yeah. What the hell? He would have been a great extra or a one episode bad guy that they kill off because they're this guy's annoying.
Just style him better and write him better, but
and it's not just I get hung up a lot on the books did this and the show's doing this, so it's worse. And Euron is one of my favorite characters in the books because he's just so different, and it's hard to be it's hard to separate that. But when I do separate that, he's just a bad character. He's just goofy and not very compelling to watch.
I don't take him seriously.
You don't take him seriously.
Ever.
Yeah.
Never.
He's just a goof.
Even up until his last, hate him.
Yeah.
Hate him.
So.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, we're...
Sirens blaring.
There we go. Yeah.
Red alert.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What are you leading into something? Or?
I mean, I think
The
we should.
finale.
Yeah, I think we should.
So the show ended. Yeah, for us it was yesterday. To give you some context, we watched this yesterday. Most of us, I don't know about you, we went to work.
Yeah.
You go to work? Okay.
Yeah.
We went to work and then we came here. So we haven't really had that much time to...
I've had enough time.
We've had enough time, but we haven't had...
This is all I've been thinking about today.
Oh, yeah, me too. But we haven't, watched it again and again and again and, studied it and poured over it. So if we miss stuff or whatever...
And the best memes haven't even begun to blossom yet.
We've seen some good memes, but not the best memes.
Of this last episode,
Not the
I mean.
dankest of the memes yet. They'll come soon. So before we get to the finale, we had some lead up in the form of the final season and the season before that. What were yours all thoughts on those seasons? Seasons 7 and 8.
Fine.
I did not mind season 7.
Yeah?
It shot out the gate with that Walter Frey's whole house dying, and that I was like,
good.
yeah, this is great.
Right.
Cut to beginning of season 8. I honestly couldn't even tell you what happened in that first episode. I can't remember.
Yeah. All I remember is Daenerys showed up at Winterfell. Then they kind of waited for a bit.
And then Sansa was really sassy.
Yeah, sassy Sansa. Yeah.
Sassy Sansa.
I thought season 7 was the beginning of what I view as the end of the show.
Yeah, I could agree with that. It was a very different, subtly different styles underneath it. Everything got much faster. Everyone was moving faster. Everyone was coming together. It was very
People
different.
were literally traveling faster.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, literally, an episode before you were at the most southern point.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're
and now
in the north.
now you're at the wall. Like, what?
How? Explain yourself. And I thought there were a few decisions that I would have done differently, and there was some stuff that I was like, if the show, and people would complain, this is good, this is what other shows are. And I've always argued, for example, what I'm talking about specifically is the plan to go beyond the wall and get a white and bring
stupid.
it. Everything about it was so bad and so stupid, and I hated every minute of it. Even if it was
really cool,
supposed
though.
to be fun, I was just angry at it, because I keep thinking to myself, if this quality of writing and directing and everything, well, directing was fine, but writing and everything happened in season 1 when the show was first coming out and consistently, nobody would care about Game of Thrones. They'd be like, oh, that's just another fantasy show that is just goofy and has dragons and magic and everything. But Game of Thrones has always been different, and I think they just stopped caring about the difference between it and other shows.
I just think they use that, because obviously it's not a good strategy to go out there and get one white or whatever. I think the show used it to show us how brutal this is, what these conditions are like, what the tundra's like, and all that stuff.
Yeah, but you do that.
I know, but there's only so many ways you can show that.
Right. Most of those ways involve many characters dying, especially for making.
So you just want to? Okay, so what if everybody died?
I'd be fine with it, because it's that's what the show has consistently demonstrated.
It's kind of what I felt with the battle at Winterfell too.
Yeah. You make bad decisions and you're punished for them. It's why every single character who's died in the show has died, either because other people are straight up villains and or they made bad decisions. Ned Stark, Oberyn Martell, all the people that died. Robb Stark. It's because they made bad decisions, and that's what should get you killed in this world. And it just suddenly stopped being dangerous to make bad decisions in Game of Thrones. And
did it really? Though?
Yes, it really did. Unless you were evil like Cersei, or apparently Daenerys, then you are fine. Name one character who died.
Well, you don't have to die to be punished.
That's true, I guess.
Jon has to live the rest of his life.
Yeah, but I think that's what he wanted. I feel like
Jon has to live the rest of his life knowing that he had 2 women that died in his arms.
Yeah.
Probably both of them his fault.
I'm sure he'll have more. Hopefully
I'm sure
not.
he won't.
Hopefully not die, but I'm sure he'll find love again.
I don't really care. Yeah.
I don't know if he. I mean, he definitely can't, institutionally.
Get married or whatever?
He can't.
Right. I don't think that.
He's above the wall.
Yeah, I think they can do whatever
with
they want.
the wildlings now. I honestly believe he just went out with that's where he lives. He can really do whatever the fuck he wants, I think.
It's true. I think there's no rules up there. It's basically Canada.
Yeah. Basically.
Cool. Well, so you guys, what about season 8? How are your feelings on season 8?
Intention versus execution.
Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I mean, it's kind of what I said. I don't know if did I say this actually on the podcast?
It might have been 2 episodes ago.
Right. It's basically just this idea of I have very little issue with the events.
Yeah.
Like, as plot points, as narrative events. It's the execution of them that I usually take some issue with. Yeah. Like, Last Jedi was kind of the same way. And I'm not in any way, like, comparing the shitstorm of The Last Jedi with the last season of Game
political statements on...
However, we will compare it to Lord of the Rings later, but...
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There have been some very compelling things pointed out.
Huh. Okay. We'll
talk
there.
about that, yeah.
Yeah. But in having... I don't know. I don't know if Season 8 needed to be shorter or if it needed to be longer.
Yeah.
I know what it should have been, and I'm very adamant about this. Like, I feel very strongly that they should have had 7 seasons. Season 7 is the final season, and everything that happened in Seasons 7 and 8 should have been compressed. Cut some stuff, because there's some stuff that we don't need, but there's...
Yeah, like Tyrion moving chairs for a whole fucking minute.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But there were a lot of, like... And it would require some restructuring. I don't think it's as simple as just taking Season 8 and just moving the episodes earlier and having them air when Season 7 aired. I think you would do some rewrites and restructuring, but a lot of character movements, I think, could have easily been just condensed. And then you would have had the finale happen, like, the last 2 episodes of what we got in Season 8 would be all put in the finale, and have it be a little bit longer, like 2 hours or something, instead of an hour and a half. I think it was shorter than the episode that came before it, and I don't want that.
And it was shorter than The Long Night.
Yeah, I definitely want, because that was the longest episode. That was the longest. But the shortest night, apparently.
I liked it. I liked that episode. I liked it even more the day after when someone had posted a synopsis to why Jon is yelling at this dragon.
Oh, right,
in the middle of a fight. And it's I have you heard this?
Okay. Basically.
So in the middle of this episode, Melisandre and Arya are like, what do we say to the god of death? And not today. And then she just like runs away.
She bolts.
And you fucking forget about her till the very end. Meanwhile, like Jon's out there, trying to fend off people, you can tell he's trying to get to Bran and trying. And so eventually he he gets trapped by the dragon, and you can actually
the zombie dragon.
The zombie dragon, and you can actually see him yell go go go. He's presumably telling Arya to go save Bran, and then he stands up and yells at this dragon to create this big distraction so the White Walkers don't hear her come in. Which I'm like, man, that's good if that actually was what happened.
Right. I
could be complete bullshit, but
I'm prepared to accept it because who cares? Why not? It makes me like the show more, so I accept it.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to decide where to go from here because there's so many different things. What
did you like and not like about the final episode? Let's just dive right into it. That's what our listeners, I'm sure, want to hear.
Yeah, sure.
I was really, to say what I liked, I have to talk about what I was worried about for almost this whole season.
Yeah.
Particularly the last couple episodes where we knew where the story with Daenerys was going.
Yeah. Yeah.
My worry was there wasn't going to be a distinction from the characters or narratively that she is different than the Mad King. This isn't, which is why I both liked and didn't like what Varys, what he said, was it the gods flip a coin?
When a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin.
I didn't like that because it implied, to me, it implied narrative, she's gonna end up she's going to be mad because, she is that. She's always been this.
Well, on that point, that's why I didn't like her turn into a villain towards the end.
Yeah.
Because
she's always been that way.
Well,
sorry.
What that means is, they're either going to be, crazy or they're going to be a normal person, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And she has consistently demonstrated that while she has violent tendencies, she's always had a good heart, and everyone has always commented on that. She's always cared for people and wanted the best for the most people. So it's completely out of character for her to just decide that she's going to kill all the innocent people.
We come back again to, like, intention and execution. Right. So, like, I was worried about that, but then in the episode... in the last couple, particularly the last episode, like the conversation with Tyrion and Jon.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you. Like, he's saying that, no, like, she had these good intentions, and yes, no one batted an eye when she burned all these objectively
bad
horrible people.
Right.
But she has gotten to a point where you've built this paradise in your head and blah, blah, you know.
Yeah.
You know, who's going to stand, like, would you, like... wouldn't you kill everyone who's standing in your way of that? And it's like, okay, fine, I buy that if it wasn't just 3 episodes ago that this happened.
Right.
I agree.
And
even though I believe this was the journey, I thought this was the journey from the beginning, but make that their journey then. And I'm not saying hit it over the head,
right?
But
build it slow, a slow burn, Yeah, it seems very abrupt. I try to get into the headspace of Daenerys within these last couple of episodes and try to, like... I mean, she loses 2 dragons. She loses Jorah.
Yeah.
She loses Missandei.
She loses Jon.
She is losing Jon.
Right.
She's lost Olenna. You know, all of the support that she had when at the beginning of season 7 in Dragonstone or whatever. And all those people are gone. She has Grey Worm and Tyrion, and that's it. And kind of Jon, but kind of not.
And Viserys, you know.
Yeah, Viserys turned on her.
Turning on her.
Actually turned on her.
Like, was going to poison her.
Right.
Yeah, I try to get in the headspace. I don't know. It just wasn't executed right. I'm like, I can't get in your headspace of how sad you are.
Everything that happened, I was completely on board with, like, her going, like, full fire and blood, justice and everything, except for when they surrendered and she was like, I don't care, I'm going to burn because I'm going to burn them. Because even with all the stuff, like, why wouldn't she think that she can just take it with fire and blood and, like, destroy them? Why wouldn't that be her tactic? It's like, what is she getting out of that? Especially since Cersei is still alive and right there.
I seriously thought for a minute she would just go up there and attack.
Yeah. And if they had done that and all of the people in, because Cersei was putting people in the Red Keep and, like, as a safety net, and that was supposed to be like, she won't attack because these are innocent people and she cares about them. If they had done that and Dany had gone and destroyed the Red Keep and killed all those people, I would have been like, okay, good, because she was trying to get to Cersei and she's like, I don't care who's in my way. Like, if that were her motivations, I would have been like, perfectly fine. Like, I'm fine with her killing these innocent people because that she would do that. Instead, she was like, I'm going to stop going after Cersei for a minute, deliberately just kill some innocent people for no reason.
Literally, like...
Yeah.
Zigzag.
Like, I love that wide shot from, like, literally, like, oh, like, you're burning the, street by street.
Yeah. It was just so unnecessary and out of character, and I just can't get over it. Even with all the justifications of, like, yeah, she was driven to this point. It's like, she wasn't driven to this point. She was driven to a point, but it was, like, over there, and she avoided it deliberately. So, I've just been frustrated with that. That was not the finale, though. The finale was after that point where and again, like I've been saying, this is the best we could have hoped for. Like, we've had, in my opinion, a very disappointing season 8. I didn't like most of what happened in it.
Yeah.
But and leading up to the finale, I was nervous that they were just gonna completely butcher it because that's what they've been doing. I was pretty okay with a lot of what happened in it. I, again, think it should have been longer. Some of us in the room have expressed our distaste at the length of certain sequences.
Oh, it's fucking stupid.
Well,
it's like Handmaid's Tale. Jesus. There's no reason to just linger on a scene to just fucking pad your episode. There's no reason.
I actually love that.
And here's...
I know you two love it. I hate it.
Here's why I think we needed it. Because there needs to be weight to age.
It's like, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for.
Give us some weight.
Well, what do you mean?
Give reason for the weight. Do more characterization. Do more. Don't just fucking elongate a scene for no fucking reason.
If it had cut into the scene where everybody was sitting around the table and they were just like, all right, what are we going to do here? And then they slowly pull away, and then it cuts, and Jon's like, all right, I'm going to go north of the wall. And then it cuts, and then Daenerys is flying over the thing, and then it cuts, and then Arya's out at sea. And then it was like 20 minutes long, the episode. You'd be like, all right, well, I guess I don't care about any of this. But because each scene like lasts, and you like get to live and breathe in a scene.
If I consciously can think this cut is too long, you've lost me. You've done something wrong.
That's just a personal taste thing.
I agree.
Okay.
I think a lot of people agree with me. Write in and tell me you agree with me.
Yeah, leave a comment if you think scenes linger too long.
If I seriously can, if I'm not in it enough to where I don't notice if a scene is long or not, then you're doing something wrong.
I can't believe Edmure Tully came back. I can't believe Robin Aaron showed up.
I was floored. I pointed out. I said, "That's Aaron."
Yeah.
And Alex is like, "No, it's not."
I was like, "What are you talking?"
I was like, no. That is Aaron.
So everybody is saying that he Neville Longbottomed hard.
Real hard.
It's true. I'm like,
and Baelish did it to him. He sent him to Ugly Camp.
Ugly
said,
Camp.
Become a man.
Yeah, has like nice hair and everything. It's cool. Yeah, that was pretty wild. So I want to speak with the writers of the show, and I have so many questions that I like to ask. I'd be like, so you did this, right? And they're like, yeah. Why? What?
Because we forgot.
No, well, sometimes, but like in 3 episodes ago, they mentioned a Prince of Dorne. Like, there's a new Prince of Dorne.
Well, what do you think Dorne's gonna do? Just sit on their butt and not do anything?
What did Highgarden do?
Was destroyed. There's nobody though.
There's nobody living there? That seems unreasonable.
I mean, there is now.
What was
Bronn
right, I'm saying before.
No, they're literally they basically.
Okay, what was Casterly Rock doing? What was Storm's End doing? Why did we not know about any of these important places, but suddenly it's like, hey, we're going to mention the Prince of Dorne. That's going to be a little bit of intrigue, and people are going to...
Probably because there were rulers in Casterly Rock.
Yeah. And there was a ruler in Dorne, and they told us about one of those
And we
things.
killed him, and so we don't know who the ruler in Dorne is. We killed him.
The Prince of Dorne. And then he showed up in the finale. Yes.
Yeah, but...
You don't see how it's confusing that they would bring up one random person but not a bunch of other random people that we're curious about?
I think people really like Dorne, and so
I guess.
they just want to know what's happening to it.
I guess.
We haven't seen Dorne or even talked about Dorne since...
I would argue that's a good thing, because I don't like Dorne. I think they did a terrible job with it, except for Oberyn, who was the only good character. I
really like...
Well, I think the whole Prince of Dorne thing is not like the Warden of the North.
Yeah.
Like, it's not... I don't know. I just... because it's such a huge region. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like... the Riverlands where it's a huge chunk, but you can still sort of govern that.
Right.
You still need, so I don't know. I always saw it as just sort of they picked a new warden. Or they reestablished a line, or I
think Cersei probably just has more control over the other places. She had the people that were on her side.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they're going to just rule under Cersei. Dorne is not one of those places. Therefore, you have to say who Dorne is, whatever.
Sure, but they didn't. They just said there is a Prince of Dorne, and then we saw him. Is he a Martell?
He looks like a Martell.
He does. Well, he did. They just never named him. They never talked about where he came from, how he got his power, especially because,
Listen, that would add weight.
Yeah. It
There's
would.
Only
Why do you
so
say
many...
that so
because we could have had that and not had these elongated.
There were only so many minutes but truly, would you have wanted them to spend more time on that?
Yes.
Okay.
At this point, yeah, you're in it.
The show is called a Game of Thrones, or it's called Game of Thrones. It's about the political.
Game of Thrones.
Well, the book is called again. It's about the political intrigue of Westeros, and the books are about the war against the dead and everything. And the show has taken a different approach to that. The show says that doesn't matter.
Yeah, they piss on that and they're like, that's interesting.
The ice apocalypse that's been prophesized for centuries and is supposed to last a generation, and it's going to be the worst event anyone's ever seen. We're going to wrap that up, rush it aside in a night. It's going to cost us Dolores Ed. That's
it was a long night.
It was a pretty long night.
It also cost us Theon Greyjoy, so I don't want you to
that's true, but
be an asshole.
He's been pretty nothing for a while now.
This was his refining moment.
Yeah, I should have cared more about it, but I just didn't.
I cared because Sansa cared.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really what drove me to it. I was like, oh, I really do care.
I didn't care that. I cared the episode after where they were
burying them, burning them.
Yeah. I was like, oh, the Stark pin.
Why did they not put Theon Greyjoy down into the Stark?
Because they were burning all of the bodies, not just like if any of the Starks had died, they would have. Plus,
they would have put them down. They would have put them down, and their family.
I think it's just. I just think it's just a ceremonial thing.
I don't know.
Yeah,
they would have put him down there.
Maybe
they should have.
Also, visually speaking, that has way more weight.
There's a phone ring. Hopefully you don't hear that. Yeah. What else? What were we talking about? It really just made me think that there was a lot we weren't seeing in the show because
that's true.
Because they had Robin was there and he was obviously important now. Like he had risen up beyond just being a young child. He was.
And you can presume that because Baelish is dead, and so of course they're gonna put him in charge. So like you don't need to explain that.
Right. I'm not.
Makes sense. So are you really only upset about Dorne?
I'm not. Yes. But I'm saying that there was a lot that they didn't show us, but was implied. Like there were all those people that were sitting around that that meeting that were like, "Oh, we've never seen that guy before. He must be important."
One person.
There was a couple.
No, you keep saying that there wasn't.
All right,
there was one person.
There were a couple of people, and it doesn't matter. The point is, like, we're clearly seeing like implications of there was a lot of stuff going on in the world that we weren't seeing, which I'm fine with, but it just seems weird to me. The Dorne thing bothers me because like. That's such a big deal, especially in a show that...
See, I was just like, oh, cool. They like got on it. They got somebody else in there.
Yeah, they were like, we're just going to have like a background extra who we can throw off as the Prince of Dorne.
I'm not.
I think you're focusing really hard
just because you have
I bet there are people out there...
thing for Oberyn,
No, I bet there are people out there who feel the exact same way I do, so we're just going to move on. What do you guys want to talk about?
I just want to talk about Dany's death.
Yeah.
And just... I was satisfied and yet not satisfied by it.
Yeah.
I thought for a split second he wasn't going to kill her.
Yeah.
I literally in one moment was like, fuck you, Jon. And then I was like, hell yeah, Jon.
Have you guys ever been more mad at Jon than the scene with Tyrion when Tyrion was like, you need to do the right thing for the good of everyone. You need to kill. I know it's a big thing, terrible thing I'm asking. And he was just like at the very end of the scene like, she's our queen. We cannot. That what you're speaking is treason. I wanted to reach the screen and strangle that boy. I was like, you can't possibly.
See, I was more mad when he said it to her right before he kissed her. Yeah, because I was just like, you're really just gonna sit there, aren't you?
You're just gonna smooch on her and then be fine. I found that scene like entirely way too cliche. Like, he kissed her, but then it's like. You hear the knife stab, and it's like, all right, we've seen this before. It's gonna pan down and reveal like she's dead, and then she's gonna like. Fall to the ground and it's gonna be this thing, and then I bet Drogon's gonna there's Drogon. Drogon
I didn't even
think
about that. But yeah.
So I found the whole thing being like, we've seen this before. Why is Game of Thrones not being original?
What would you have wanted?
I don't know, something else. So maybe a fight.
Here's the
maybe a battle.
That I have not stopped thinking about since it happened.
Please tell us.
Why did Jon have any weapons on him at all?
Yeah.
When he approached her.
Mm-hmm.
Did she not have, like, people posted? Like, we've seen, like, because they established earlier in the episode that, like, when people get near her or, like, near Tyrion, the prisoner, you hand over your weapons.
I think Jon's so important.
I think they know that Jon and Daenerys have a romantic relationship. That they had a lapse in judgment.
But then also, like, why did no one show up when the dragon started, like...
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Screaming.
And that's exactly what I thought, too.
Does anybody know why Drogon didn't kill Jon and instead
because he's a Targaryen.
Burnt down the Iron Throne?
Because he's a Targaryen.
Okay, but burnt down the Iron Throne?
And we made this joke that she's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't have done this. It must have been this really pointy chair.
Yeah, it's like, oh, she was killed with a sword. I hate swords. I'm going to destroy that sword chair.
But really, though.
It did seem like it was either as simple as that, the dumbest thing ever, like, swords must kill, or like,
Just, we need some really good symbolism here.
The quest for the throne is what destroyed Daenerys, and I will destroy this institution that allowed... Yeah, I don't think it was either. I think it was just they wanted the Iron Throne to be burnt down, and they wanted it to be dramatic instead of just a random event. Even though the show thrives on random events that cause terrible things to happen.
Yeah.
Brief aside to the books, when Ygritte dies, it's not noble and in Jon's arms. It's literally like...
Yes, it is.
In the books.
Yes, it is. There's an excerpt from it. Go ahead.
Go ahead when she dies, but like, there's the battle, and then afterwards he finds her dying. So yeah, like they do have their scene together, but like she's hit with the arrows that kill her like off screen, and then like as they're rounding up the bodies after the battle, they like find her. So it's very like secondary, and then they have their emotional thing.
Okay.
So
I still get what I need out of that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying like they could have done something like that where they like she goes up to the throne room and finds that the throne has been destroyed or something. Finds like a pile of iron or Dany when she goes up there by herself.
I'm so fucking confused.
Like if the throne had been destroyed during the battle,
why would
I don't know because the room was obviously destroyed.
Because it needs to be more tragic for her to like
almost
see
get
it
there
and touch it.
Yeah.
And then
Jody, you brought up a good point. After like we were talking about the episode afterwards.
That she didn't get to sit on the throne.
Well, it like harkened back to
Season 2
with the vision where what happened in that vision.
It's the prophecy. She goes in there and there's snow, quote unquote, on the throne.
Ash, quote unquote.
She goes there. She doesn't even get to sit on it, and she turns because she's hearing a baby cry. And so then she goes into another vision where it's Drogo and her what would have been son.
Right.
And so that prophecy was fulfilled. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but instead of like Drogo and the baby coming to her, she
went to them.
She died.
Which it doesn't say that they came to her.
Right. It's just they are reunited.
They were together,
She didn't take the Iron Throne, and she was reunited with her love and everything. That might be reading into some stuff.
I like it.
But I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. I think it's cool because for people who look for foreshadowing and like prophecy and things, because I don't want to keep talking about the books, but the books really do lean on that stuff.
Way more.
Way more than the show does. So I think book readers go into the show being like, everything means something. Like all this stuff means this.
Probably.
And I think that burns us a lot.
Is Azor Ahai ever spoken?
They never say those words. Okay. They do talk about the prince that was promised, and they talk about a savior who will come and save us from the long night, which apparently was Arya, which I'm fine with. But they never really talk about it that much after. Like they talk about it early on. Melisandre is totally like all about that when we first meet her.
Oh man, Melisandre's like one of my favorite characters.
Melisandre's great character.
I know a lot of people hate her because she killed Shireen, but
Ed Shireen.
I don't really mind.
Yeah.
So
I touched. Well, Jaime pushed people out a window. We're past that. We move on the show. We
but his hair looked damn good in that season. It looked like shit the rest of the show.
I think season 2 and 3 looked good.
No.
I dig the long greasy hair look.
That actually like
that brings up a question I want to ask.
Do it.
Is at what point when you were watching the show did your mind just fucking explode? Like you were just like, what? Or you can't believe that happened? Like that scene, like just any twist that happened that you were like, oh, I did not see that coming.
The most shocking thing, like the first big.
Or just the most shocking thing that you're like, I can't believe they would even like show that or whatever.
The first thing, Ned.
Okay.
Ned.
Nice.
Because I was introduced to the show and finished the first season in a single night.
Yeah.
So you're just like,
nothing
what?
about it.
Right.
I'm like, oh, it's, there's something is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Like, no. And they do such a good job of like making you think like, oh, somehow Arya is gonna like jump up there and like yell something and they're gonna stop her, or Sansa's gonna do so, or even Cersei, because she's obviously not okay with this, but it just happens and you're like, okay, but what? Come on, like we know he's not dead, and then the next episode, and you're just like,
you think they pull a Harry Potter, and the hippogriff is like,
right, there's a pumpkin where Ned used to be.
Yeah, That'd be funny.
The other thing was for me was the Red Wedding.
Oh, the Red Wedding.
Because I hadn't read the books at that point.
Oh, so you were really like...
I was like, the fuck?
So I think I got that spoiled for me, the Red Wedding.
I got that spoiled for me.
I definitely got the Red Wedding spoiled. I knew like what happened and who died. I knew everything about it because that happened at the point where I wasn't like, I didn't like the show, so I didn't care. So I was just like, just tell me what happened so I can talk to other people about it. Sure. And then once I started liking the show, I was like, oh man, I wish I had watched this myself. And I think Ned I also knew about.
I didn't because you two motherfuckers, we started watching that show.
Oh, yeah.
Connor goes, oh, yeah, but Ned. And then I was like, well, don't spoil anything. And you're like, oh, but I really like what they did with him in season 5.
Yeah.
So I really was like, he's not dead.
I think it was even season 6 because I think you were saying it to cover up what you had just said.
You did.
Absolutely did.
But there was like a twist to that, which was like Ned Stark is in season 6, and like his stuff is interesting, like the flashbacks.
Oh stuff. Yeah.
So I kind of like interpreted it as like he's not lying.
I was so mad. I was like, these two. They got me, man. They got me.
Because you even like after like that, we watched episode 9 where he dies, and then like the next. Or like you were like, he's not really dead though, like right? He's not really dead. Like you guys were just talking about.
Yeah, he's on a stick.
He's on a stick. Can't get more dead.
Even then, I was like, nah, not really.
I think for me, because all right, so here's my arc with very briefly. I'm going to go through this briefly. Started watching the show, didn't like it. I watched the first 2 seasons because I was like, I need to stick with this show because it's easy, and I mean not easy, but like it's short and everyone's talking about it, so I want to talk about it. So I watched the first 2 seasons, and that's when I finally gave up. I was like, I don't care. So what I'm going to start doing is like reading the Wikipedia page for it, or the Game of Thrones wiki for it. And I got to episode like 3 where they do something to Jaime Lannister.
Oh, yeah. I'll just tell mine. I almost quit the show when that happened.
Yeah.
His hand got cut off?
Yeah, and his hand got chopped off.
I was so... Because it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere.
He just saves Brienne from being raped. And you're just like, okay, we're just going to like ride this episode out. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Like I had no prefaces.
Right. I didn't warn you at all that something was coming.
And so all this, first of all, I don't like losing limbs.
Like, yeah.
That's one of my hang-ups. And so that happened.
That stuff bothers you.
And they linger so long on it.
Yeah.
And
on the stump.
Yeah. And Nikolai Coster-Waldau's like scream at it and literally just shook me to the core. And this was me, like I'm on, like I have my backpack on ready to go to rehearsal and I'm like, okay, we gotta finish this episode, let's go. And so then I'm just like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, it was.
I'm like, he's maimed.
Yeah.
I'm like, you might as well just kill him. Because like, at that point I was just like, he's nothing now.
You're right, yeah.
No, I literally told Alex, I was just like, I think I'm done with this show. This is too fucked up.
I think I made her, I was like, just watch the next episode and then it's
what's the next episode start with? He's wearing his own fucking hand around his throat.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
That is my like, I cannot believe they did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's including Sansa being raped.
Yeah. So on an inverse of that was the moment that I was just like, oh, hello, what's going on here? Because I was like I said, I was reading the wiki pages for it, and I was like, all right, yeah, okay, I guess I understand who these characters are now, but I still don't care about all this. But then once I got to that, I was like, oh, they're willing to do this to one of their main characters? Like, they're going to be so bold as to pull that off. So that's when I started to like really lean in and pay attention. And then by the time I got to the Red Wedding, I was like, oh no, this is great. Like what I'm reading here, this is phenomenal. Like I cannot believe that they would do
You're
this.
A sick man.
I am a sick man. And then I watched. Then I started like watching season 4 is what I watched like live or what? Not live, but
as it came out.
Not exactly. I think like season 4 was wrapping up when I was starting to watch it, but basically, yeah. And then that was just like, oh, I love this, and then I had to go back and rewatch everything.
So what was a point when you were like, what?
It was the hand thing. It was like
no, that you like actually watched.
Oh, that I was surprised by.
Yeah.
Oberyn. Because, like...
Yeah, seriously.
Oberyn's death. Because everything was built, like, aimed at him succeeding. They had set everything up that it's like, Tyrion's gonna be okay, he's gonna get his justice, we're gonna get rid of the Mountain, who sucks, Tywin's gonna get his justice and everything.
That didn't surprise me in the slightest.
Didn't?
I was waiting for...
Yeah.
Like, the reversal. Like, is he gonna get back up? Mm-hmm. Is he gonna just... Is the Mountain literally just gonna, like, throw something and it, like...
knocks him out.
Yeah. Something. I didn't expect, of course, like the eyes,
right?
Crushing his skull.
And it was so quick and so sudden, especially because it was so close to the end of the episode, similar to the Jamie thing.
And they love to fucking do that.
Yeah, they literally were like, he's winning for so long. They drag out, he's winning. Then all of a sudden, he's like knocked to the ground. His head gets crushed. Like Ilaria's screaming, and immediately Tywin stands up and is like, Tyrion, you're sentenced to die, and then credits roll. It's like 20 seconds between those two events.
I remember like coming home at lunch one time, and you and Tyler were watching that, and I wasn't watching the show yet, and I was just like, "That's fucked up."
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of surprising deaths at the end of an episode, another like I wasn't so much surprised by it, but I was like it very much emotionally like shook me.
Yeah,
was Joffrey's death.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, what shook me the most is Jaime running over to him. Yeah. Like, because he's like, fuck, this is my son. And he's like dying. Yeah.
That's hard. Yeah. And especially because Cersei, while a villain, is very sympathetic.
Oh, she's
like,
great.
The whole time you like completely understand like where she is at every turn and where she's coming from.
She's great.
She just always makes the wrong choice.
She does. Like Ned Stark did.
Yeah.
Like Rob did.
Like Rob did. Well, Rob made a lot of good choices.
Rob's hubris was what killed him.
Do you think so?
Yeah, his arrogance.
I don't think he ever really thought that much of himself. I don't think he cared really about it.
I don't mean like hubris in like himself, but like the hubris that like I am doing the right.
Yeah.
And that's
that Stark.
Yeah.
that's those Stark boys. They like to do that.
And that's how it works in the North.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we had mentioned that on a previous episode that is the way of the North.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite villain in this show?
That's a good.
Who do you love to hate?
Who do I love to hate?
Not Euron Greyjoy.
Not Euron.
No, he's just a fucking idiot.
I enjoyed Ramsay until he started becoming a supervillain. Like when he was just crazy and like confined in a space, I was like, this is very compelling. Obviously I'm not having as much fun because it's like horrific what he's doing to Theon, but he's so believable in his insanity and his just demented personality. But once he started being like,
killing my dad, killing
his dad, killing his dad, and being like, I'm the Warden of the North, I own Winterfell, I'm this huge, powerful figure, and I'm just like, what are they doing here? Why are they doing this? He started to become a little bit too cartoonish for me, and then Euron was like the next step up from that. I was just like, go sit down. We don't want you.
Pulling us on. Sit down.
Uncle, sit down.
No, Ramsay, is definitely,
I guess.
He's just so, I honestly can't believe that somebody can think that way. Mm-hmm. And so, I love watching it.
My two favorite villains. Can I answer?
Oh, I thought you were answering. I'm sorry.
Well, I think I said not exactly him or like early him, but my real answer is it's a toss-up actually between Tywin and Cersei, the Lannisters, because Tywin is so compelling to watch. Like anytime he's on screen, he's great. Lena Headey, whatever, is so good, and like Cersei is such a gripping character that
I don't even consider her evil. Is that bad?
Well, yeah. I mean, she does some pretty horrific things.
No, I understand it all, though.
Yeah, so I mean,
I don't understand Ramsay, and that's what makes him so fascinating. I also don't understand Joffrey, but any of his scenes, my heart was pounding. I'm like, he's just gonna fucking kill that person.
Yeah.
Or when he makes the two.
Oh, yeah. The two prostitutes beat each other.
I didn't know what word I wanted. Yeah, beat each other.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the word you want to use is hooer.
No, I wanted to use brotholite. That's not even a word.
Right. I like it, though.
Yeah.
You know, Superman's secondary least favorite rock is
brotholite.
No, never mind, everybody. Let's move on. I don't know why you allowed me to...
For me, it's Stannis.
Yeah, okay.
He's very noble.
Would you consider him a villain?
But here's the thing. He's the villain I love to hate, because I was always just like,
what are you doing?
You son of a bitch. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Like, what? If you thought about this for a second,
right?
Like, you wouldn't be doing this.
The thing that I love the most about Stannis...
So it was irritating. It was the villain that irritated me the most.
The thing I love the most about Stannis, my favorite aspect of his character, is how much I truly believe he does not want to be king. Like, he has no ambitions for it. He purely just thinks, like, well, I have to. It's my duty. Like, I'm next in line, so I have to, even though, like, I don't want who would ever want this?
What I love is that this actor
Stephen
never knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And he said it in interviews. He's like, I have no idea what the show's about. I know, like, I'm Jon Snow. I know nothing.
I know nothing.
You can almost see it. He's just kind of like in it. Like he's just. It's always so
and it works for his character because he's so detached. He doesn't the character doesn't care about anyone else's. When Jon Snow shows up, he's just like, aren't you that talk boy? I don't really care. And you're like, you believe that he's just clueless.
Because he is.
And we have this running joke where there was the scene where Stannis and Renly meet each other, and they're like kind of trying to come to terms or come up with the truce or whatever. And he's like, I want the Iron Throne. It's mine by rights or whatever. And we were just like talking through Renly, and he's like, you don't even know what's going on in this world. Tell me, what's her name? Pointing to the red woman. Like, the woman standing next to you, what's her name? Tell it to me. Because, he probably doesn't know. It's just like, he literally refers to her as the red woman several times throughout the show. So I don't think he knows what Melisandre's name is.
Speaking of Renly, I want to know, what character did you wish you could have seen more out of?
Yes.
Renly is definitely one of those characters that could have been, I'm like, you could have been something, but I understand why you got rid of him so quickly.
Renly is one of those weird characters where it's like, he probably would have been a good king, but there were reasons why he had to die, narratively, and what the message of the show is, he had too much ambition. He the search for power is what gets people killed. The quest for power, and he definitely had a thirst for it. But I think he would have not been terrible at it if he had had the chance. So my answer is either that or Oberyn, because he was around for so little time, and even though, yes.
You have a thing for him. I know.
Right. Apart from all that, he was just very compelling to watch. He had the motivation that people care about. He had passion, obviously, so.
Thought he was a little prick.
All right, well, he was
I didn't
cool,
like him either when I first, but then, when I watched it the second time, I'm like, he's really not that bad.
He kind of seemed like he might be a bad guy, when he showed up, because, he's hostile towards even Tyrion and everything. He's got some, anger issues, but.
I wanted more of Tommen.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you want? Did you want more out of him, or did you just want more of him?
I wanted to see him grow a spine.
Yeah. I think that
was another shocking moment. I really But you kind of ruined it. You're like, hey, see this scene? See those bars on the window? Any scene Tommen was in, there's bars on the window. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, you see that window?
Okay.
And I was like, well, fuck's sake.
What is that? So you immediately interpret that to be like, Tommen's going to jump out that window.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, well, that's on you.
The window's open.
Yeah, okay, well, a window can be open. It can symbolize something. Maybe I was just pointing out symbolism, which I was. I didn't mention every time Cersei said, I will burn cities to the ground for you, even though I wanted to. Cersei says that 17 times throughout the show before she actually does it. And I wanted to point at,
I'm glad you didn't, because I another moment I was shocked at, but I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I wish I would have seen more of Loras.
Yeah.
His character is very, one-dimensional, and I wish I could have seen more of
Again, I wish we would have seen more of Book Loras, because, in the books...
Book Loras.
In the books, his homosexuality is such a small part of his character.
And
he's so many other things.
More characters were like that.
Yeah.
Not to oppress homosexuality, but you are more than
right.
Normalize it.
Have multi-dimensional characters.
Have a personality. Yeah.
They really did reduce that character to just he's the gay one,
and he's always gay, having sex. I wish I had seen more of Loras.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think what else. I don't want to see more of Ned Stark, because I think we got what we needed out of him, but it would have been interesting to see his reactions to everything, because just he has such an orderly mind, and everything makes sense and goes like this, and just to see all the chaos and nonsense that comes next, I would just wanted it to be I don't understand this world. I'm Sean Bean. Mm-hmm. That would have been interesting.
Another one that there's nothing more you could give me out of this character, but I wish I would have seen more of it, is Tulsa.
What?
I'm not saying that right.
I don't think you are. Who are you talking about?
Rob's wife.
Oh, Talisa.
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't really exist in the
books,
she's
right?
Jane, but
there's Jane Westerling, who's a very different character, but serves that role. I don't know if it's supposed to be that character or just really that.
Yeah. This actress is actually a descendant of Charlie Chaplin,
which
is really interesting. And she's so beautiful.
She's very beautiful.
And I just wanted to see more.
Yeah. I definitely wanted.
I loved their relationship, and again, I understand why they got rid of him. But yeah.
Another underrated character that I really like, Barristan Selmy. the old man who served Daenerys. One of the very few like truly great characters in the show, like just a good person doing the right thing. Ultimately, it turns out was aligned with a bad person, but he had no way of knowing that because the writing did not tell us that she was a bad person.
I loved when Sam, in the final episode, is like, maybe we should have everyone decide.
Oh, yeah,
who's
democracy.
Gonna be king.
Yeah,
right.
democracy.
Maybe
They're all just like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I mean, I thought that that's...
Sam.
I honestly thought that that's what they were gonna...
I was like, oh, are they gonna, like, do that? Cool.
Guys, Uncle Sam. America.
Shut up.
No, democracy. Democracy's cool.
Speaking of your best friend, Sam.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about the...
I am ready to compare this to Lord of the Rings and how ridiculously close it is.
Do it.
Okay. You have your main character. In this case, I'll call him Jon Snow.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. Who has a best friend named Sam. Who...
Sam W. something.
Whatever. Sam. Who, goes on the journey with him... his
best friend, his emotional support animal.
Goes through all of that. Then, the war of the dead is over. And, quote unquote, marries a girl with a flower name.
Yeah.
Rose.
Rose and Gilly. Yeah.
Gonna have a child named after said best friend. Yeah. John.
Mm-hmm. Frodo. Mr. Frodo.
And then the main character, Jon Snow, Frodo, goes off into the abyss of just being a
goes off into an otherworldly
place. No, I think that was absolutely intentional. I think that's a George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, he has said that the ending is going to be like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's
so
it is very
it's
close, and I bet there's more to it too. Question for you, because I think you're more in line with Lord of the Rings stuff than I am.
Yeah, Tolkien stuff.
Yeah, was there ever any metatextual hints at the nature of the series Lord of the Rings within Lord of the Rings? Did they ever imply that it was written in it? Yes, it was. The Hobbit was anyway, right?
Yeah.
Somebody wrote that. Somebody in universe wrote The Hobbit.
Well, Bilbo Baggins.
Yes.
Wrote The Hobbit, there and back again, A Hobbit's Tale, or The Hobbit, and then at the end of the Lord of the Rings, in the novel as well as in the movie, Frodo writes The Lord of the Rings. All right.
If it had been Sam, that would have been even more of a thing. Because another thing that I've seen a lot of people complain about, I did not mind it, but the Song of Ice and Fire bit at the end. When Sam was like...
You had told me that might be a thing, and I was like...
That's been a theory.
Cool.
I've been expecting that from the beginning.
Although he didn't... I think the weird wrinkle that I think the books are going to do, if they do this, that the show didn't...
Sam wrote it.
Sam didn't write it in the show.
Yeah, but he's going to write it in the...
Yeah, and they did such a weird thing where it's we're going to reference the Song of Ice and Fire, but this isn't that book because, Tyrion's not in it. And we obviously know he's in the books. So, why would... why give us that name if that's not going to be... Mm-hmm. Unless I was expecting a line because they said, you're not mentioned. I thought Tyrion was going to say, well, I suggest a rewrite. And then it was going to be oh, so that's how the books came to be or whatever. But weird stuff. I liked it, though.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. A lot of people are that was stupid. I liked it.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Something you didn't like, Jody, was the symbolic shot of Dany walking towards the staircase and Drogon.
That's literally just
flapping up behind her.
Yeah, and it looks like Daenerys has these dragon wings or whatever. I'm that's literally just poster material. They're just making you're making memes at this point. Mm-hmm. You're making fan art.
Right.
I mean, yeah. There are times where spectacle, for the sake of spectacle, sends the message without...
I just think that they were shit, she's about to die. We got to get this scene in here. They could have done that at any time.
Yeah, but it wasn't really it wasn't earned yet because she hadn't become the dragon. She hadn't become fire and blood. Now she is.
Maybe.
I dug
didn't
it.
like it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So what else do you guys want to talk about? What character did you want to see die the most that you were happy about dying? Not I wanted this character gone like Euron because I hated him, so now he's dead. But whose death did you like the best?
The way they died?
Whatever. The scene, the way, the fact, whatever.
Joffrey.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Joffrey.
Joffrey for sure. I honestly like how Marjorie died. I was really done with her character, and I'm like, you really just need to go.
I would say like all those people, like the High Sparrow for me, because
Oh yeah, him. Yeah, you're right. All those people in that scene, I was like, it's time to go.
Right. Except Kevin Lannister, he should have been around longer. That's a character I wanted to see more of, because he's like. Maybe I'm thinking back to the books again.
Is he the one that Jaime kills?
No. Yeah. He was.
Oh, he's the one that like comes up to Cersei and is like, "You're not a real Lannister."
Oh, right. Yeah, and then he's just in the Sapped Twin of Blood. Because I think they were just like, we don't have anything more for Kevin to do. Let's just have him be here.
Is he the one that finds that like comes across like the barrels?
No, that was Lancel.
That was Lancel.
Yeah.
I didn't like that character.
I didn't like that character,
but I don't think you were supposed to. So it's fine. Yeah, because the High Sparrow, I thought he was a good villain. I thought like his motivations were solid. Like you believe him and everything.
It was refreshing.
It was definitely, it was complete change from like anything we'd seen before. He truly believed he was doing the right thing and everything. Most people don't care. Most villains don't care about that, like Cersei and everything. They're just like, I just want revenge. I just want to kill people. He was like, this is right. This is good. I'm going to stop the depravity of King's Landing. Then he just exploded.
Yeah.
I liked it. I loved that episode, the end of season 6. Perfect. I love it so much. It's so good. I think that's when Walder Frey died too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
That was a good one too. Get rid of him. He sucked.
I want to say I liked Ramsay's death. I didn't.
I definitely wanted more.
I definitely was like cheering at the screen when Jon was beating the shit out of him. I was just like, yes! Fucking destroy him. Right. And then I was like, oh yeah, I guess like Sansa should like finish him off, but
yeah, definitely. I wanted more. I wanted it to last longer. I wanted it to be more painful.
Me too.
Which is weird.
I'm sure it was very painful.
I'm sure it was, but I don't know. I hated that guy. I really wanted him to suffer. Unlike Euron, who I hated and just wanted gone. I'm like, just stop.
Where were you when the Sept blew up?
Yeah, right. I wanted him to just like slip off of his boat and drown in the water and just be like, we're never going to talk about him again. What do you think?
I'm okay with Bran being king.
Yeah,
Me
I'm
too.
okay with it.
A lot of people are mad.
I don't like it, but I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
Have you been on Reddit leading up to the finale?
No, but I know like he's been talked about a lot.
Yeah, I think there were leaks. I think people like spoiled that he was going to be the king because people were talking about it in a way that implied a certainty that I was uncomfortable with. But Reddit did this thing where they at the top at the banner, or at least on mobile, I don't know. They had a thing where you could vote on who you thought would win, and it would automatically subscribe you to a subreddit for that, whatever you voted for.
Oh, is that who you voted for?
Yeah, I voted for nobody wins the Iron Throne, because I was very adamant that there was not going to be an Iron Throne, which I was kind of right about, but I mean, there wasn't going to be a king anymore.
I thought the Night King for sure would win.
My thought was either it's going to be Jon. It's going to be that kind of, like, we've transitioned into, this is that kind of fantasy now.
Well, I think even the books are going to do that. Yeah. I think they're going to...
Yeah, or... it's going to be Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah.
And they're going to just, work together and they're going to be separate again. Mm-hmm. And
I honestly thought, and it seems naive in retrospect, but I honestly thought they were going to lean into the democracy thing because they even talked about it earlier.
Oh, yeah, for a second I was like, that's how Jon. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
I thought Sam would literally, like, pull out the book and be like, well...
Oh, I did too. That is, before
this person is actually the rightful heir to this throne.
But something that I think is different in the novelization series of events, rather than the show, is like everything in the books needs all that weight to it. Like you can't just say Jon's going to be the king now without all this stuff. So they would need that. The show doesn't care about this stuff anymore. They just say like, oh, Jon's a Targaryen. We all know and believe it. Like we're just like accept it and it's fine. He should be the king. We're all.
They should have had that. They should have had. I can't think of their names.
What?
The two people who helped Bran that were brother and sister.
Oh,
their father. Have him come along and be like, he's the rightful heir. He's the only person that knows.
Yeah, totally. Instead, Bran's just like, I can see time and...
like we all
Can he see the future?
Or
can he? Or is it he can't see the future, but he can see all of current
he can,
past?
I think, in my interpretation...
So it's total lateral and... like...
Yeah, I think my interpretation...
I think he gets, like, glimpses of what the future will be.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I hated the line where Tyrion asks him, would you serve? And he's like...
Why do you think I came all this way?
I didn't wheel my chair this whole way.
You didn't fucking wheel it.
And I'm just like...
yeah. My interpretation is that he can see everything that's going on right now, and he can see everything that's always happened, and that's given him like a really good sense of characters and insight. So he's like, oh, since all this stuff is happening, I'm pretty sure I know how people are going to react just because I've seen them their entire lives, and I've seen how other people have reacted in similar situations.
Something we could have had during the episode that wouldn't have been Tyrion moving chairs is that Bran could have warged into that goddamn dragon.
Yes!
That would have been cool.
Book readers have been waiting for him to warg into a dragon for years.
Never got it.
For years we've wanted this. Ever since the three-eyed crow I think he's called the three-eyed crow in the books. Yeah. Ever since, because he literally has the same exact line. I think it's at the end of book 3. It's like, you'll never walk again, but you will fly. And people are immediately like, dragon, 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 dragon. Never happened. What the hell, Game of Thrones?
Do you think Dany's body, do you think the dragon ate it?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Do you think the dragon burnt it?
Yeah.
I think the dragon dropped it in the river because it forgot that it was carrying it. You had a pretty good, didn't you?
I just said that, animals in the animal kingdom, if they have, a spawn that has died, will carry them around for a couple of days and finally then, lay them to rest. Monkeys are really famous for that.
Yeah.
That's all I said.
It really seemed like it would have been fitting if he had burned her.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought for sure.
I thought that was what was going to happen.
I'm like, he's either going to burn her or fucking eat her, and that's going to be gross. Yeah.
Yeah. If he had ate her, just hot scooped her up, and John's just huh?
Just swallowed her whole. He'd be like, no body, no problem.
By the way, speaking of no body, no problem, that I came up with this. We were talking about this on the way home after watching the episode. Jon Snow killed Daenerys Targaryen. Spoiler alert. And then stabbed her with a knife in the chest, and then Drogon picked her up and took her away. So nobody was around to see him stab her or knew about it.
He told him.
Other than Jon telling everyone.
Jon was like, people came, Grey Worm comes in, what happened? Where is our queen? Why is there blood on the floor? Are you okay? Yeah. Where is the dragon? It's flying off. I killed our queen.
I'll kill my queen.
I think sometimes the writers want Jon to be even stupider than he is naturally, because remember season 5 when he goes to the wildlings and it's like, we all need to unite and we need to get south because the army of the dead's coming, and they're like, why should we trust you? What happened to Mance Rayder? Long silence. Jon Snow, I killed him. No explanation. No thing about...
I put him out of his misery.
Not the fact that it was... Tormund has to speak up and be like, it was a mercy killing. He was going to be burned alive. He wanted to be killed. Jon Snow is just I killed him.
Jon reaches many times...
Yeah.
Ned-level stupidity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would argue even beyond that.
Yeah.
Ned was an idiot, but he at least had some intelligence. He wasn't very wise, but he was smart.
Because when it came to his kids, there was I'll do what I gotta do and I'll maneuver what I gotta maneuver, but this, I'm gonna focus in on this, I'm gonna be super noble and I'm gonna go about this the right way. Cersei, I know about you, so you better get that packing.
What a dumbass.
I can't. To this day, I cannot believe that. That might have been his dumbest mistake of all.
You will leave King's Landing.
You will leave King's Landing, or else I'm gonna tell Robert when he gets back, you have a couple days to prepare. Leave to back up. So what would you guys say was your biggest disappointment of the whole show? Of everything. Biggest disappointment.
Go ahead.
Execution.
Okay, but specifically.
The quality of the show just dropping off towards the end? I'd say in the chain of events of the show. Assume that everything had happened perfectly. What did you want to happen that didn't, or what were you just saddened by the most? It can either be in a good way, like the Red Wedding, or...
For me, Jon being... banished to the north.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Him, if he had decided to go, I would feel very differently about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's really, for me, it's the end of his arc is, for me, it's the symmetry of that. Okay, fine. He never really cared. All he ever wanted really was to be recognized.
Be a ranger.
I just was going to say, he wants to be a ranger.
I just want to be a ranger.
Yeah, and he gets to do that now.
Yeah.
Cool.
That would have made a lot more sense to me if he had chosen, because of two reasons. One, I think they really just wanted to get Jon up there and they needed an excuse. So they're like, we're going to have Grey Worm be angry that he killed Daenerys. Even though Grey Worm's leaving and all of the Unsullied are leaving and Jon can do whatever he wants, they have to pretend to send him up there, but they didn't rescind that once they left. They didn't.
What would he have done?
Who?
Hung out in Winterfell.
Well, I know, but like he could have chosen to go instead of being sent up there.
I guess.
And also, he was sentenced to the Night's Watch, which doesn't need to exist anymore because the wildlings are cool now and there's no Army of the Dead or giants or anything. All the giants are dead. What's the Night's Watch doing?
Well, I think that was the idea. Like, it's not you're being sent to the in quotes Night's Watch.
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
You are being banished to the north beyond the wall.
Because then I guess that would answer my other question, which is like, why is he...
We didn't answer the other one.
I mean, he just did. He said like...
He did, but we didn't.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What do you want to say?
No, what were you going to say?
But just like, why did he go up north beyond the wall if he was like... If he was part of the Night's Watch, quote unquote, at the wall, why is he just like, all right, I'm going to go with Tormund up beyond and all these other wildlings up super north? Like, doesn't he have a post? Doesn't he have work to do? Why can't he just do whatever he wants? But if there's no Night's Watch,
I don't think there is. I think it's him. Like, okay. I think it's just sort of you're being banished.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you going to say what you were most disappointed in?
Yeah. I had it was kind of a joke a little bit, but I also really, really thought, because the show's always built itself on like what you least expect to happen, like Ned Stark dying, and that was like the biggest, first, hugest thing that happened in the show. I honestly thought they were going to do something at the very end, which is like, that wasn't Ned. Like, Ned's still alive, and he has been this whole time, like, trapped or banished or whatever. And they would have done it in a certain way that would have been not stupid, or I guess the show would have done it stupid because the show's bad now, but I think they would have just... I think... I don't know how much I believe that versus how much I just want it, but I think that would have been a really... Like, undoing the big thing that made the show what it is would have been pretty compelling to watch. What about you, Jude?
I
think I know what you're going to say.
Was so disappointed in Jaime and Brienne consummating the whatever the fuck they had.
Right.
I hate it in multiple layers. I hate that. I honestly think that I wanted Jaime to never, like, leave Cersei. I thought, I'm like, okay, you two are fucking evil and you can fucking deserve each other, and I love it and everything like that. So I'm really mad that he was with another woman. Two, I just don't think Brienne deserved that.
Right. Definitely.
Because, like, what would have came out of that? Like, what, they'd live happily ever after? No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It makes her... it makes me mad because that makes her just such a weak character at the moment. Like, he leaves, she's fucking devastated when she was this awesome, amazing character that you, like, noble and all this shit, and now you're just like, God damn it, she's just a girl.
I think she can still be, like, upset that somebody that she loves leaves her, but she
Which had happened before.
What do you mean?
Which he left her before.
No, like, she was into somebody before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And they didn't...
Right.
Well, it was a trick.
Yeah, it was a trick.
Yeah.
Like,
and I guess he was leaning into his, like, Kingslayer personality to, like, you know, to leave and just be like... Yeah,
and
I am this monster.
And not that, like, younger girls are watching this and looking up to Brienne, because they're not. I fucking hope they're not. No young child is watching Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay, maybe not young, but like 18-year-old.
Okay, maybe. But in the eyes of that, she's such a good character that I wanted her to just be like, yes, you don't have to have a man to be happy, and you don't have to live this, which I guess Sansa's pretty much done that, and Arya, but... Yeah. But I just wanted Brienne because she was just so noble and so pure and, like, all that. And it's like, okay.
I think she still is. Like, I don't think any of that negates that.
Right.
I think it just
a moment of weakness.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I don't even see her having a moment of weakness. It's, like, this horrible thing happened to her.
Yeah.
Oh, she behaved
naturally.
Yes, she would. I guess I could see that. I just think it was dumb for her. Hindsight, she should have seen this coming.
Yeah. I would agree in that being a big disappointment, because I think my strong feelings about the Jaime and Brienne storyline is that they were never supposed to, like, be in love with each other. I think Brienne likes Jaime, but I think
I don't even think that, but go ahead.
I think Jaime's story arc is one of, like, learning to respect somebody in a way beyond, like, oh, she's a woman, and so she's for sex. Like, because that's really how Jaime thinks, especially in the beginning. He's he's like very, very, like, dude bro, very much like just, you know, I don't know exactly how to, but the relationship needs to be platonic. It's stronger that way. I think the fact that they love each other is just like a little bit of a step backwards in terms of...
What did it do for the show?
What did it do for the show? Other than just have another romance storyline, which...
It did nothing.
Yeah.
I honestly did nothing.
I agree.
It didn't move Jamie's character forward, and it didn't move Brienne's character forward. It did nothing. Mm-hmm. It literally gave fans what they wanted. I didn't want it.
It was very fan servicey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's just what I hated about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what I'm most disappointed in.
Didn't like it either.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. So what do you guys think about Arya flying off into the sunset? What's west of Westeros?
I love that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Why not?
No, it's a girl answer, and I don't want to say it.
You wanted her to end up with Gendry.
I wanted her to end up with Gendry.
I kind of would have liked that too, just because I like them together.
I really like them together.
Yeah. So at first I thought, okay,
I wanted her to experience like love and compassion, since she hasn't really had that in her life.
Yeah, definitely. I knew that she was never gonna do that because she was never gonna have like the stable home life.
Right.
I didn't know what she was gonna do because like even without Gendry, it's like she's not just gonna settle down at Winterfell. She's not just gonna like what's her story arc gonna how does it wrap up if she survives? Which obviously she was at that point. And then she said like what's west of Westeros? She's gonna sail, and I was like, this seems like a little. It's if you were to look at her character arc, like where is this coming from? Like I know she mentioned it earlier in the series, but like why is this where she ends up? But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, this is actually perfect for her because she's always wanted to be like a knight, a hero, an adventurer. She's always wanted like a life that like a boy would want or whatever. And in a world where this is the only like known world, like exploring and going out and seeing the world and like finding new stuff is the perfect representation of that. Now the show could have like talked about that or brought it up before so that we were primed for it or been like
and isn't
whatever.
There in universe precedent for that like there was a hundreds of years ago there was a female Stark
I think
with
so.
a Targaryen
yeah
like, and it was, I think, implied that, like, they were, like, in love, these two women, and, like...
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's ever been said in the series. Right. In the show. Yeah. I think this is... And I'm not even sure if it's something that's really been explicitly said in the books. I think it's in...
Like, A World of Ice and Fire or something?
I think it's in...
Or, like, one of those short novels.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Doesn't Bran fucking know what's west of Westeros?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe he is tied...
Maybe...
to the land, like to
maybe. Warg into a crow. Go there.
Well, to get a little pedantic, he only has the power to warg into like animals and trees, the weirwood trees.
Hodor.
Well, and Hodor.
Hodor.
Yeah, I guess he could do. I don't know. It's weird. Hodor is simple-minded. He doesn't have a full...
Well, because he warged into him.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Damn, Bran.
He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't get him off that.
Like he was like, if I remember correctly, like he was not like a not bright kid, but he was like Hodor when he was a kid.
Right.
But he was sort of like, you know, like, he was basically Sam. If Sam weren't like uber intelligent.
I guess,
like,
right.
Just sweet.
Yeah, just sort of, simple.
Uh-huh.
Like the baker's boy.
The baker's boy. Okay, so I guess that's everything. Do you guys have any final thoughts? What do you guys want to say about Game of Thrones?
Shout out to those costumers because that's what I think I said when I watched the first season. I'm like, these fucking costumes are so good.
I think everything except, I would argue, the writing has been consistently great from day one. The music has been incredible. The casting has been phenomenal, except in very like rare cases. Well, I think
I meant costuming.
Okay.
Yeah.
The set design, the sound design, everything, the CG work, everything has been great. I think some of the decisions that were made behind the scenes are a little bit questionable, but apart from that, I think everyone has just brought their A game on the show, and I think we're never going to see another show like it, like we said at the beginning. Like, it is truly one of a kind.
Not for a long time.
Not for a long time, anyway, yeah. And, yeah, the show has meant so much to me that even, like, the nitpicks that I have or the gripes, I'm like, the show's still going to be one of the greats forever. So...
I want to end with what's your favorite line from the show?
Oh, what's my favorite line from the show? Oh, that's a good question. You go first.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta remember how it goes. Mm-hmm. I'm yours, and you are mine, and we may die, but first we'll live.
First we'll live. Yeah.
Yeah, that's mine.
What about you?
I don't, like, off the top of my head,
I have so many that I'm not thinking of right now, and I know I'm going to later and be like, oh, I should have said.
Like, it's probably something curious
things, yeah.
Like, offhanded at one point that, like, that, like, would have, at the moment when I watched it, would go, oh, yeah, like, that's really...
I liked when he was like, you shouldn't hit a lady, something very bad could happen, or whatever, and the guy says, is that a threat? It's like, no, I was just giving you a warning. Bronn, the next time this guy talks, kill him. That was a threat. See the difference? I like that one. That was good.
Yeah.
Or when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Yeah.
Because that's such ominous line, and it like sets the tone.
Or the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
Yeah.
I also really like which also was like a theme, right, of like the entire show. Mm-hmm. Ned saying, like in one of the first scenes, like the person who passes the sentence swings the sword.
Yeah.
Particularly like in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I have a book quote. Can I say a book quote?
Take a shot.
When Bran says something along the lines of like, can a man still be brave even when he's afraid? And Ned says, that's the only time a man can be brave.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's resonated with me.
Yeah.
That's a really strong line. Cool. So guys, Game of Thrones. Good job. Good job over there, HBO. You did good. Thanks.
Scraw!
Do you guys want to say any words?
No,
or okay?
No, I said pretty much everything. Like I don't know, like my frustrations with the last like season really have more to do with like my personal expectations versus what they did. And I've talked at length about like intention and execution, but still like beautiful show.
Oh yeah.
The writing, even when I didn't like the narrative turns, was well written, well crafted for the most part. Yeah, like great show. Mm-hmm. Thanks for everything. All the stories and all the hours of like great, awesome, well done, guys.
Totally. Cool. Well, all right. Well, that has been Game of Thrones, and this has been Peeves of Cues. If you guys want to find us on Twitter, we're on Twitter at Peeves and Cues. You could send us your own questions, comments. We didn't really have that many of them. We had some. But you could do that at peevesandcuespodcast@gmail.com. I'm on Twitter at Mr. Spelled the Long Way, Red2342. That's at Mr. Red2342.
And I am on Twitter at CleverGirl, the letter F, the letter X.
Cool. And until next Monday, hopefully, we have to talk about when we record next, for more exciting Peeves and Cues adventures. Bye, everybody. Executive producers, David Benioff and DB1. Cool. Well, nice work, everybody.
Keep your fucking mitts off Star Wars.